It was a quiet Sunday night, the kind that presses down with the weight of everything unspoken and unresolved. The end of the week left me stripped of distractions, unable to hide from myself. In that stillness, one careless sentence unraveled the life I had spent years weaving with a man I believed to be my forever. I hadn't meant to hurt him. In truth, I hadn't even known he could hear me. But words, once released, are merciless. They cannot be recalled, and mine struck with devastating precision, tearing apart what we had built. Sarah, my dearest friend, had stopped by for wine and company. The evening had been unremarkable in every way: warm light, familiar furniture, the gentle hum of the world outside. I thought Nathan was upstairs, preoccupied with some forgotten task. I poured my heart out to Sarah, though it was less a conversation than a flood of exhaustion and bitterness. The months had worn me down, arguments that left us raw, silences that grew heavier than any shouting, the weariness of trying to hold together something fraying. With a glass of wine loosening my tongue, the truth, or at least the ugly, fleeting shape of it, slipped free. Some days I just wish I hadn't married him. The instant I spoke, I felt something break inside me. Sarah's reaction was immediate, a sharp protest, but her denial couldn't undo what I had said. The words lingered in the air, heavy with meaning I hadn't fully sorted out myself. They were born of frustration, yes, but also of a deeper erosion I had ignored. Love, when left unattended, can sour into duty, and duty into regret. Yet I still clung to the idea that I loved him, though perhaps it was only a shadow of what once was. What I didn't know was that Nathan had been standing on the stairs, silent and still, absorbing every syllable. The next morning, the house felt foreign. The small rituals of our life together were disrupted. No smell of coffee, no keys by the door, no boots lined neatly by the wall. At first, I brushed it off as an early start to his day, but unease soon crept in. Nathan never left without a word, not even after our worst fights. By noon, my worry overcame me. Calls went unanswered. Texts delivered into silence. When I opened my email, a single new message awaited me. The subject line carried just one word: farewell. The body of the message cut deeper than any fight ever had. He told me he'd overheard my confession, that he knew it wasn't said in anger but in truth. He wrote that he had poured himself wholly into us, only to learn that I had carried regret all along. He wasn't angry, he wasn't vindictive, he simply refused to remain with someone who viewed him as a mistake. The divorce was already in motion. His last words were not a plea but a quiet declaration of dignity. He would not be someone's regret. I read that email over and over, each sentence striking like a hammer. No room for negotiation. No cracks to slip an apology into. Just finality. When I rushed to his office, his presence was already erased, desk empty, resignation submitted. By the afternoon, his phone was disconnected. His social media gone. Even mutual friends had no answers. His brother offered only a vague explanation. Nathan needed distance and wanted no contact. It was as if he had folded himself out of existence. Days later, the official paperwork arrived, his signature already inked in place. My role was reduced to boxes to tick, lines to sign. He had removed me from his life so efficiently that I barely recognized the swiftness of it. I waited for fury to ignite, or for denial to shield me, but what came instead was a crushing guilt that settled into every corner of me. Memories resurfaced unbidden, his eyes looking at me as though I was his entire world, his quiet steadiness when I faltered, the patience he extended when I needed space. I remembered too the look on his face at dinner just before it all fell apart. Tired, yes, but still trying. He had been present, willing. I was the one who had drifted. Sleep abandoned me. I replayed that night on the couch endlessly, dissecting every syllable, wondering if I had spoken a temporary frustration or a hidden truth I hadn't dared admit even to myself. As weeks turned into months, desperation consumed me. I hired a private investigator, hoping for any trace of him. But Nathan had been thorough. No new address, no trail, no sign of where he had gone. And slowly, I began to understand. For him, overhearing those words wasn't just painful, it was clarity. It was the moment he realized that the foundation of our marriage had already eroded. I had let love wither silently, and the confession I thought was private confirmed what he had perhaps already suspected. In leaving, he salvaged the one thing left to him, his self-respect. Now I live with the echo of that night. I wonder where he is, whether he has found peace, whether someone else now sees him as the treasure he truly was. I know now, too late, that he was mine, the best decision I ever made, though I failed to cherish it. Nathan didn't just leave me. He erased himself from my world to protect his own heart. All that remains for me is the memory of my own words, carelessly spoken, yet carrying the power to dismantle a life. Words I can never reclaim. Words that cost me the person I once called my home.